say an other song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 862. Hello, this is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Today it's the return of the much-loved feature News Random, where we hear some interesting stories about what cyber criminals are doing and what we can do to stop them. Plus, we hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley, and Josh Hartnett could have been Batman.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Would that have required him walking around all day not thinking about sex? I wouldn't have watched that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Just a observation, because that's the only other movie I can think of he did. So when you reach my age and you look in the eye of yourself in a mirror's reflection and some crow's feet popping by, you know that you may have seen the most of what is life. And then you find out someone just celebrated 100 years, and I have to say happy birthday to that 100 years person. Just enjoy it.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I think you should enjoy life blissfully ignorant, though we live in the information age.
Mike's
and that can be a gigantic
Daily
task to stay
Podcast.
Dumb.
Yeah!
But I notice some people are better at it than others. That was my age rant. Feel free to do your own. But remember, you look marvelous. And feel as much as you are aged as whatever that expression is. Look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. This is Madame Rootabega. And you know I have lived a long, long time. Yes, you're immortal. Yes, Michael Matthews. I'm kind of like a vampire, but I'm not. Oh. Are you kind of like the Highlander people? Like you can't kill them unless you chop their head off? Michael Matthews, I could be like that. I could sing maybe a cool Queen song or a song by Luke Graham from that movie. Could you do it now? I am Sean Connery. I don't know any songs from that, but I wanted to tell you that it is true. You're only as old as you feel. Or as young as you think you are. Or you could just stay at whatever age you want forever. 33? Michael Matthews, there's no way you could pull that off. Ooh. Thanks. Look who else just walked in.
Oh, there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking thing.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Guys, are you like, do you guys feel your age?
No, we don't feel anything. We are heartless, cold people. That's how we get through life there.
Yeah, we just ignore everything. We go through life with blinders in. Do you know that? Wow. That makes for life being really not lived at all. And you've broken a bunch of rules about how to live life and enjoy it.
Yeah, shut up.
Wow, that was just right in my face. And it kind of was like a bolt of spring air was shot into my face by your mouth passage.
Yeah, what I've been doing lately is I've been gargling with spring water. There.
That's wonderful. And that helps make you smell like the wonderful day. Can we talk about something else? Mike, I would prefer it. Do you know that? Well, this is interesting. The whole thing with Josh Hartnett. He could have been Batman. This according to cinemablend.com. Before Christian Bale donned the black cape and mask in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, there was a bevy of actors up for the role. Even Superman, Henry Cavill, was up for the role. He got to the final round of auditions. Along with Jake Gyllenhaal, Cillian Murphy, and Hugh Dancy. Josh Hartnett was apparently also in the mix, but unlike the other candidates, he made the fatal error of turning down the now iconic part. He's now on the show Penny Dreadful. And he said, the intensity of my sudden fame was overwhelming for me, and in the middle of that, I felt I couldn't trust any new person I met or their motives. I spent a lot of time back home in Minnesota with my friends and family. I did smaller movies and stopped working for a while. Yeah, that's the thing. With the whole stardom and movies, you got to hit it when the iron's hot. Because he bailed on Batman, he missed out on the other films that came as a result of the Dark Knight ripple effect. After that, Nolan selected Christian Bale, to be the new Caped Crusader, and the filmmaker then cast Christian Bale in The Prestige, which also featured Hartnett's girlfriend at the time, Scarlett Johansson. Let's hear it for the lovely Scarlett Johansson. She's in some Avengers movie coming out. Speaking of superheroes, coming out soon. He learned that relationships were formed in the fire of that first Batman film, and if he only had realized the potential of the role and the director at the time, he could have played a major part in it. If you recall, this isn't the first time Hartnett totally missed out on a major superhero role. He said that he was afraid of being typecast, which is why he also turned down opportunities to play Spider-Man and Superman for Sam Raimi and Bryan Singer, respectively. If only he knew that superhero movies would have become international sensations. But of course, that Bryan Singer Superman that featured Brian Routh bombed, but now Brian is the Atom on the TV show Arrow. Every single actor has their regrets, whether it's the crucial audition they bombed, or the connections they wish they made, or the films on which they wish they took chances. But this is one that is staring Josh Hartnett in the face. But in another sci-fi show by the name of Doctor Who, the last episode they did last year during the Christmas episode, there's a beautiful scene where the Doctor, he's a Time Lord, he's a time traveler. And he, similar to you, Madame Rootabega, never ages. Well, he does age, but he, never dies. He just regenerates. Yes, Michael Matthew, I've watched that awful show. I hate it. Ooh! Well, at any rate, there's a scene with him and Jenna Coleman, who's his human companion that travels with him. They're not romantically linked, but they're good friends. And he, somehow, I forget what happens exactly, but he meets her when she's really, really old. Like 100 or something, and he's talking to her, and they're having a conversation, and he says to her, just a really quick question. He didn't even make it as a question. He just goes, regrets? Kind of as a question. And she says, oh, yes, so many wonderful regrets. So that's the thing. Josh Hartnett, don't look at it as a regret, or look at it as one of those wonderful regrets. I'm trying to be philosophical here, guys. Give me a frickin' bone.
What, Mike? Is that the way you're gonna live a long life, is by eating dog bones day?
Yeah, milk bones. The Alpo. The other dog products. The dogs eat. Do you know that? Dogs don't live that long, so you probably don't want to eat what they eat. Sorry, Basil. I'm just about... Oh, he wants to play. That's the thing. See, this is the thing about dogs, is they just want to play. And they want to enjoy life. They know they're not here that long. We know that they're not here that long. That's why we got to enjoy them while they're here. I talk to people that go, oh, I lost my dog, my best friend. I don't ever want to have another dog because there'll never be another dog like him. You know what? That shortchanges all the other dogs out there that need a good companion like you. That's just my little bit of why you should adopt dogs. But not everyone's into them. But you're awesome, Basil. So what do you think about aging gracefully, and about dogs, and about Josh Hartnett, sorry, Josh, being shortchanged in his career and having podcasters mess up his name? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments and emails on the section Emails from Email, your calm and not so calm comments. Oh, and speaking of which...
Oh, my God!
Email for email and your calm and not so calm mess.
I got an email from someone who's actually going to be a guest on the show coming up next show, and that is Petra. She is from Germany, a lovely lady who is visiting America and traveling around, and she's been here before. She's traveled to America and done traveling in our huge country before. And in fact, in the interview, we're going to discuss what it is like for a European to come and travel here in the USA. And they see things, we get a little jaded. We don't really see the things that they see. This country is just a complete, just this bizarre, unusual place to them. We grow up here and go, whatever, Dairy Queen. We get it. But they don't. But she wrote me, hey, Mike, I had a fantastic hotel tour this morning in the famous Stanley Hotel. One of those twin brothers founded the Stanley Steamer, a car that was designed East Coast on the East Coast in 1800. In Estes Park this morning is where Stanley Hotel is and where she is. You would love it. A mystic hotel with lots of ghost stories and with the famous guest Stephen King. Oh, Stephen King was there in the mid-70s, and that's where he got his idea for the book The Shining. Ah! Okay. She's had to deal with a lot of snow and ice rain driving over to Denver. Interesting. Okay, well, so that's what the Stanley Hotel. There you go, The Shining. I get you, Petra. Got it. Hey, you try and write in another language. It's not easy. Frick. I've tried to write in German, and you forget about it. And the other thing is that we don't have a lot of things you need to write German on our keyboards here in America. The umlaut, for example. So there you go. Everybody go see the Stanley Hotel and be freaked out like in The Shining. And the Stanley Steamer. I had no idea of the connection. So there you go. You can email me or comment MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, and you can comment there on Facebook and Twitter. Links to where to find us on Facebook and Twitter at the website, MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And let me know if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. By the way, also there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, there are links to where to find us on Instagram, Tumblr, Yelp, Twitter, Facebook, and you can listen to us on a bunch of places, including iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream. Links to all those at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And like us on Facebook, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends and more people find out about us that way. And if you subscribe to us in iTunes, comment on the show and rate the show, and that way more people will find out about us and we won't languish in obscurity. I am also on the air in Connecticut weekday mornings, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., and a link to that at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and also where I am on the weekends playing country music, a link to that at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and the link to Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link, and that helps us out. We get a little bit of support from that. And you can find the blog, The Daily Podcast Picture, and all my past interviews at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
News Random.
That would be Prince, Computer Blue, computers, our computer world that we live in, and some interesting stories about that here on News Random. Cybercriminals targeting businesses are stealing more than customer passwords and credit card numbers these days. Some are misappropriating the very web addresses or domain names of the businesses themselves. When Pablo Palatnik of Miami glanced at a Google Analytics report showing web traffic on his office TV monitor one day last month, he was alarmed to discover that traffic to his business website, shadesdaddy.com, had plunged 80% from its usual level of as many as 10,000 visitors a day. This according to the Wall Street Journal. At first, the 32-year-old entrepreneur suspected a server had gone down, but after digging further, he discovered a more serious problem. A cyber thief had diverted his company's domain name, the very web address that's critical to his firm's online sales, to China. That meant that potential customers surfing the web for Oakley, Ray-Ban, Versace, and other popular sunglass brands couldn't find his 8-year-old internet retail business. His experience underscores a little noticed and growing security risk for business owners. Thieves can hijack domain names and transfer them to such places as China, Eastern Europe, and Russia in what appears to be organized criminal activity. The nonprofit Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, coordinates how web addresses are allocated, and it has gotten over 140 complaints about domain name thefts in the past 20 months. The thief might hold the domain name for ransom, resell it, or use the information to get access to personal or company data. Thieves may also be interested in other means for monetizing the stolen domain name, such as the display of pay-per-click advertisements, display of website that downloads malware, or use of the domain name to send legitimate-looking emails, company spam, viruses, and or phishing correspondence. Small firms with memorable domain names, as well as entrepreneurs who snap up particular domain names with plans to resell them, can be especially vulnerable because they tend to have less sophisticated internet security systems. Entrepreneurs routinely pay thousands of dollars to obtain their domain names or web addresses. The most sought-after domain name can fetch millions of dollars, but the median price for a domain name was $3,000 in 2014, up 9% from a year earlier. Cybercriminals sometimes hijack domain names by scraping public directories listing contact data for domain owners. These hackers then send out phishing emails designed to surreptitiously capture a domain owner's keystrokes or passwords. Some argue that ICANN itself should do more to monitor and address the illegal transfer of stolen domain names to registry holders abroad. If they find there are bad registrars working with bad folks to facilitate domain hijacking, taking steps to put them out of business would send a very strong message, say experts in the field. The registrar accreditation agreement between ICANN and the registrars, the companies responsible for domain name registration, gives ICANN enforcement powers to stop reported domain name abuse. But ICANN denies that it has the power. I guess they say I can't. Quote, ICANN is not a regulatory authority or law enforcement agency. Well, a lot of help they are.
You can tell I'm a machine, I just lost myself. See what I mean? You're beautiful.
That is the band Shipwrecking with the song Computer Magic. Meanwhile, IBM has unveiled a cloud-based cybersecurity system which includes hundreds of terabytes of raw aggregated threat intelligence data which can be expanded upon by users that sign up to use the service. This according to businesscloudnews.com. The IBM's X-Force Exchange service is being pitched by the firm as one of the largest and most complete catalogs of cybersecurity vulnerability data in the world. The threat information is based on over 25 billion web pages and images collected from a network of over 270 million endpoints. It will also include real-time data provided by others on the service. The IBM X-Force Exchange platform will foster collaboration on a scale necessary to counter the rapidly rising and sophisticated threats that companies are facing from cybercriminals, said Brendan Hannigan, the general manager for IBM Security. And Brendan says we're taking the lead by opening up our own deep and global network of cyber threat research, customers, technologies, and experts. By inviting the industry to join our efforts and share their own intelligence, we're aiming to accelerate the formation of the networks and relationships we need to fight hackers. Last year, IBM made a number of acquisitions to bolster endpoint and cloud security, and adding cyber threat detection to the mix creates a rounded security portfolio, but the move also puts them in direct competition with a wide range of managed security service providers that have been playing in this space for years. And isn't it interesting that Mark Zuckerberg has Facebook on a street called Hacker Way? And we're trying to fight hackers. So strange. Well, there we go. News random there as we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is a discussion I was having with Benita, the rodeo queen. Oh, hi, Benita. Hi, Mike. How are you? Great. So, yeah, we were discussing the whole thing about how I have to mow my lawn today. Mark, that's going to be a real chore. Yeah, it is. I'm going to have... So the grass has grown really tall, and even though we're in a drought here in California, I was able to just leave my lawn alone, and it's sort of in the shade, so it grew really nice. But now I'm afraid of mowing it because I'm afraid now it's going to need more water. Mark, I don't know a thing about lawns. So why am I talking to you? I don't know. But like I say in the cartoon, I think you should mow it, and you should wear nothing, just like maybe a couple of Daisy Dukes. That's going to be worth watching. I can't wait. All right, Benita, I will try not to disappoint myself by doing that. Oh, come on. Well, look, your friend Madame Rootabega. Hi, Madame Rootabega. Hello, Benita. Your hat is so huge. Can I borrow it? Ooh. Anytime y'all want, Madame Rootabega. Wow, you two are just the best of friends, aren't you? We should go travel in Europe sometime, y'all, and me. Madame Rootabega. That would be wonderful. We could meet some very sexy Italian men. Ooh. Right. You're married, Benita. You can't meet Italian men. I can talk to whoever I want, but my heart always belongs to the disgruntled fiddle player. Aw, you're so in love. You know who else is in love? I didn't know this, but the brewmaster appears to be in love with Shelley Shuhart. And since Shelley is going to open up a chicken pot pie bar in the gift shop, and the brewmaster already makes root beer, his artisanal root beer, it's wonderful. They would be a perfect match. Now we'll just have to see if Shelley is into the brewmaster at all. Maybe we'll find that out next show, since she is going to be on the next show, as well as Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. And speaking of people traveling to and from Europe, we will speak to my German friend Petra, who is traveling through America right now. And I had the chance to speak to her, and she will tell us all about what it's like to come to America, what you should see as an American if you have not visited here in America. There's lots of things, lots of sights to see in this great country. And she'll also have some great travel tips about what you should and should not do in Arizona. And she will also translate this dirty German sign I have hanging in my bathroom. I have no idea what it says, and she'll translate that for us.
Mike, I bet it says, "Hey, idiot, make sure you always got a lot of toilet paper ready in case one of these rolls runs out today."
Yeah, it should say that, because I hate it when I run out of toilet paper. Do you know that? Okay, so you're saying that the bathroom here at Cafe Anyway needs more toilet paper. Got it. I'll put it on the list. Right under, remember to get characters for my podcast that don't actually need to use bathrooms.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!